Round one, just about in the books here. We're not done yet. It's time for the LIV Golf post-game show here in Orlando. Beautiful scene, late afternoon, early evening here in Orlando. Now, we have seen some fantastic action on the opening day here as the players and teams jostle for position on the opening day of 3. What a day for Sebastian Munoz. A 62, that's the joint record low score in the history of LIV Golf. Richard Bland, double bogey on the opening hole, ends on 7 under par. Brooks Koepka is there or thereabouts. Danny Lee, victor in Tucson, is 6 under, going very well indeed. Cam Smith, 2 under par. Bryson DeChambeau will be reasonably happy with a 2 under par. 69 as well. Ian Poulter down there, 2 under. Charles Howell, solid, but not in contention at the moment on 2 under. Andy Ogletree, 2 under. Phil Mickelson, 1 under after a fast start. And sadly for C1 Kim is down in 48th place. So let's take a look at the day for Sebastian Munoz. This for Eagle at 14.
Yeah, this was a fabulous round of golf, considering the fact, Jerry, that he lost momentum kind of halfway through.
Yeah, he did. He said the course wasn't as easy as he made it look, to paraphrase him. But he said beating the course is always a nice feeling, and he beat it well today. But he wasn't the only one in the end. A lot of good scores out there. Not a surprise to us, really, with the wind not overly powerful today, and that being the course's main defense.
This was for birdie at 2. He started at 14 with that eagle. And then he ended strongly. This for birdie at 12. He's from Bogota in Colombia. It's only his 3rd LIV Golf event. Member of Torquay, who are going well themselves, just a shot off the lead after the first day. And this was for birdie at 13 to end his round. 9 under par, 62. This is the team leaderboard at the end of the first day. Brooks Koepka's Smash GC, 14 under par, just ahead of Torquay. Majestics, who have finished 11th and 12th in the opening 2 competitions so far. They are on the podium as it stands, a long way to go. The 4 Aces, the Range Goats and the Cleeks doing pretty well as well. Now the Smash highlights. Matthew Wolff. This was for his birdie at 18.
Got off to a great start, but it was Chase Koepka making the early noise. That for birdie at 1. Brother Brooks not to be outdone, Arlo.
Yeah, this is his 2nd shot at the 9th.
Surprisingly, at the time, laid up there on the drivable par 4, David, but
yeah,
made a dance around the hole.
Yeah, pretty good decision, you have to say.
Wolff for birdie at 8. Give you an idea of how well Smash have played collectively today. Jason Kokrak with a 3 under par 68. His score didn't count. Chase Koepka ended 4 under. Matthew Wolff 4 under. Brooks Koepka 6 under. That's Brooks for birdie at 12, and then Chase to round things off for birdie at 7.
Oh.
Take a look at the Smash bobbleheads. There you go. So Kokrak with a 3 under par.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
Yeah, doesn't count today. Remember, the 3 scores, the 3 best scores count on all 3 days, which gives us our team total. So Smash have set the pace. Brooks Koepka looks to be in fine form.
Yeah, he really does. Didn't get off to a particularly good start. It didn't seem to really do anything particularly well, but, you know, comes up with a score like that, just shows you how good a player he is.
He left a few out there, and the players will tell you that. They judge their rounds based on not the things that happened that maybe shouldn't have on a good perspective, but how many they left out there. And he left a few out there, but I think he'll be more than anything else relieved and pleased with the form that brings him into the second round with a chance to win, having not shown those signs in a while.
How do we sum up Sebastian Munoz's first round? A 62. Was it 8 birdies, 1 eagle, and just 1 bogey? That was impressive stuff, Davey, wasn't it?
Just the 1-3 putt, around his turn, and just a fantastic round. Although we did see it coming. We thought somebody would take this golf course apart.
Yeah,
and they did.
Those around him, those who know him, those who played college golf with him, those who competed against him on the PGA Tour, to see him, or any of these players for that matter, but to see Sebastian Munoz with his ball striking ability get warm with the putter and put together a round like that is not a big shock.
You mentioned Brooks Koepka leaving some shots out there. Did Dustin Johnson do the same?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. And by what, 3 inches total?
Yeah.
He could have 4 or 5 putts that touched the lip of the hole with good speed and didn't go in. It's been ongoing. That started in Mexico. It continued in Tucson. So many good putts he's hitting and not dropping.
Let's take a look at our score worm here. Munoz and Bland. Now, Richard Bland started at the 15th and double bogeyed it.
Yeah.
And then went 9 under thereafter. Extraordinary stuff from Richard Bland.
Yeah,
and it's good news for the cliques as well.
Every bit as impressive as Munoz, really, when you think of it after that start.
Well, we were kind of thinking there for a while when he was 6 under through 8, that we might, or 7 under through 10. Then at one point, we might see something very special.
Yeah,
8 under before you knew it as well.
Yeah, I alluded to it, which is when he 3-putted.
Yeah, it's like talking to the pitcher in the dugout, throwing a perfect game or a no-hitter.
Who else is going to be happy with their first day's work today, do you think?
Well, I think Lee Westwood, at 5 under, has got to be very pleased.
I'll throw a name at you, too. Henrik Stenson.
Yeah.
He is a very streaky player. He's not one of those guys who goes out and relies on one portion of his game week in and week out. When he gets dialed in from a ball striking standpoint, he is not impossible to beat, but as Phil Mickelson learned at the Open Championship a few years back, he's really, really tough to beat.
And Danny Lee, right there again.
Yep, 6 under par. Winner in Tucson in spectacular fashion a couple of weeks ago. Now, Richard Bland, his best ever finish on the LIV Golf circuit, 4th in Bangkok last year. He's been a solid performer, but today, absolutely exceptional. This is second shot at the 16th, coming off that double bogey at 15 after teeing off.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a heartbreaking start, to come back the way he did. It shows a lot of guts.
There was a time when you considered a late bloomer in golf somebody who came into their own in their mid-30s, much like Tom Lehman did years ago. This is a seriously late bloomer here, David.
Yeah.
Got his first win on the DP World Tour at the age of, what, 48?
48.
That was for birdie at the 8th. He followed that up with birdie at 9. And he ended on the 14th with this eagle putt through the shadow of our television tower.
Started with a double, finished with an eagle. Kind of cancelled it out.
Jay Shelby Jr. hop aboard the Bland wagon. Hashtag live broadcast. Well, a day to remember for Richard Bland and for Sebastian Munoz, with 2 rounds to go here in Orlando. We've seen players, and I think of the likes of Mark Leishman, who went into the final round in Tucson with a 2-stroke lead, and the pressure mounts over the course of the competition. So Sebastian Munoz is going to be delighted with how things have gone today, as has Richard Bland, but then the pressure just gets cranked up the closer they get to the finishing line.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question about it. This tour is new. This league is new. Legacy isn't there yet, but the team aspect matters, and what they're playing for are individual events that mean a whole lot to these guys. And regardless of what you might see or hear from a one-sided narrative out there, this matters a lot to these guys, and they feel the same pressure, if not more, playing here in these events than they ever did playing at other events.
And they've got less time to catch up. You know, this is 3 rounds. It's kind of like limited over cricket. which you know nothing about.
I do too.
Yeah.
It's my favorite sport.
He's an expert in cricket.
There's two forms of limited over, right? 50 overs and 20 overs.
Yeah.
That's correct.
2020 is the most fun.
He
Yeah.
loves cricket. He just hates soccer.
Yeah.
Oh,
With a passion. Harold Varner, Lee Westwood, both with 66s today. No bogeys for them. That was a pretty solid start for the Majestics and for the Range Goats. But we'll send it down to Troy Mullins. Where are you, Troy?
Well, right now we're looking for Thomas Pieters' iPhone, but he's working on his driver. He played really well today. 6 birdies, despite being distracted right now with the Find My iPhone. But what are you working on after the range?
Yeah. All right. Did you find it?
They found the phone.
Some things are more important, Troy.
What am I working on? Trying to hit a fairway.
You played well despite trying to find a fairway.
Yeah, I put it nicely and I hit some nice shots, but my driver was awful. Yeah, so I'm just trying to work on kind of speeding my arms up. I was just late all day, and yeah, that's what I got to work on.
All right, so let's talk through that. We wanted to see you hit a few. You're teeing it lower. Did you have it teed that low earlier today?
Yeah, everything into the wind. I was kind of flaring out right. So I just want to chip it down the fairway, and that's all I'm trying to do.
All right, so he wants to not flare it out right. He was saying he gets it stuck a little bit behind him, but we can see it getting in front of him better now. Do you want to see that ball flight a little bit of a fade?
Yeah, but not that much.
Not that much, okay. But it's also tee left to right here too, right?
Yeah, I know. We should be good enough to do that.
What's your ideal ball flight?
Left to right,
Left to right, okay.
about 2-3 yards.
So 2-3 yard fade. Teeing it low for a fairway finder. That was beautiful. What do you think of that one?
That's better, but it didn't start enough left, so.
All right, well you can see right now what they're working on. Really focusing on his club face and his wrist angle coming left rather than having...
You've got to take it with you, you've got to have the speed. That's it.
Okay.
Do as much as you want. And then once it starts left, then you can move it back to the right. What's that? That's what he's after.
I'm right here. So you're kind of telling him to swing left? Is that what you're saying?
The only common denominator between all great players when they play well is they get the club in the right delivery position relative to the shot they're trying to play. So if you're trying to play a fade, you've got to get it in fade delivery. If you're trying to play a draw, you've got to get it in draw. It's just too late at impact. So you've got to get it in that delivery position. And of course, if you're late, you've got a problem. If you're early, you've got a problem as well.
We'll get the one.
So that's why we talk about timing.
Yeah.
So that's decent, reasonable, but it needs to start a little bit further left then.
And what is the benefit of teeing it low versus teeing it high?
Well, you'll obviously get a lot less spin, and it's trying to almost see that as a movement into a wind really on some of the holes, and just really penetrating it, and you'll get 40 yards of run on that, which is, and then you're not relying on getting up above the wind and the wind taking it too much. So you've got to be able to control your ball flight. That's what the game's all about. If you can't control your ball flight, I say there's only three things you've got to get right in the golf swing. You've got to start it on line with the correct flight and the correct spin. So the first thing is you've got to start it on line, then get the flight and then get the spin. So.
Well, thank you guys for your time. Appreciate it. Play well tomorrow.
Great stuff, Troy. Now the Range Goats had themselves some highlights today. Speaking of Thomas Pieters, the Range Goats are 12 under par, and they are in the hunt after the first day's play. It's Taylor Gooch's third at 17. Harold Varner for eagle at 40. Thomas Pieters again, third at 14. Then for birdie at the second. Didn't like his driving today, but has to be happy with that.
Yeah, for a guy that didn't like the way he played, he seems to be showing up a lot on the highlights.
And then HV3 for Eagle at 17. Speaking of range goats, Chief Range Goat is alongside us, Bubba Watson. How are you feeling after the first day? I mean, it's the first time probably this season that you can look at a team leaderboard and think, hey, we're in this.
Yeah, and I haven't even played good yet, so that's good. That's huge. You know, I missed this seat, by the way. Last year I got to sit here a few times. But,
yeah, you got comfortable, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now I got to go back to making those 3-footers. But, no, it was good. It's good seeing the leaderboard go up, see that pink come up on that leaderboard. Obviously, I want to be there and help the guys, and hopefully I can do something the next couple of days to keep us up there.
What were you happiest about with your game today, Bubba?
We finished. I didn't lose a ball. I actually drove it well. I actually had control of it. But I just didn't make any putts. I couldn't get comfortable over the putter.
Well, this was for birdie at 3.
Yeah, but like nothing was ever comfortable. This was the eagle putt here, but you know, every putt, like I had to mark every putt. I couldn't ever just like tap them in.
Yeah.
So it just made me a little nervous. I flagged it with a 9-iron, and the gust of wind came up short here, but I got up and down, so that's huge there. But
that was your third
this I
at
thought
12.
was a terrific shot.
Yeah. Second at 16.
Yeah, I just kind of tried to hit a dead straight high one so the wind would take it. Got the good bounce there off of that pine straw, but you know, again, I missed this putt. I thought it was going to break, and it stayed dead straight. So just little things like that just kept me out of.
But what about the bling? I mean, you've got to start making these. It's going to be the most in-demand piece of merch, surely.
Man, I tell you what, if our team could ever start winning, we'd be good, wouldn't we? Our logo looks great. Everything about us is great, but we got to get on that podium a few more times.
What's the story behind this piece of merchandise here?
Well, you know how college football has the turnover change. You know, when you do something great on the defense, and so we wanted something like when you hit low pro or you have the best round, you get to wear that and show it off.
Oh, fantastic. So whoever does well gets to keep it.
So it's not me today.
But we're going to hang with us for a few moments' time because we are going to head out once again to Troy Mullins. Troy, all yours.
I'm with Jason Kokrak. Team Smashes in the lead, 14 points. We're having a little bit of a range therapy session going over the good and the bad, but I'd say overall good day, right?
Yeah, Team Smash was great. Team played amazing, top to bottom. I feel like I was just slightly off, but I finished off the back 9 pretty solid.
Well, the shot before that, when we were distracting you said was your best shot. What was that? Talk us through what you're working on.
I tend to get a little bit lazy with the golf swing, and I get that right knee kind of locked out, and I don't kind of stay in my stance and kind of fire off that right leg. So I'm kind of concentrating on that right now. So that's kind of it. I mean, if that kind of drags the club too far inside early, and I'm trying to get it outside with a slight loop to keep it back on plane.
So how do you work on that in your practice? Like, what do you over-exaggerate?
I kind of over-exaggerate a little bit. I used to have it really kind of pronounced, but it's not nearly as much now. But yeah, Drew normally just takes a 4-iron and sticks it in the back of my leg and keeps my leg there.
He actually overturns his hips a little early when he goes back, and then what it causes for him, he's always been outside, and then he loops it back underneath and shallows it. So for him, he has to feel the club head outside his hands, and when he feels inside and around, he feels like he comes out and over it, and then he feels like he can pull it too much. So it kind of throws everything off.
Golfers tend to be hard on themselves. What did you see that worked well in his game today?
I saw him play the whole front 9, which is his back 9, and I saw a lot of good drives. I saw the last hole, he kind of hit a drive right in the right rough, got a good up and down, but overall, a lot of good stuff. I mean, one wedge, he caught a little heavy, good up and down, but a lot of good things in his game. The wind was kind of moving around, made some good putts. D-Rob, his caddy over here, reads greens well, so you just try to build momentum each day. And when you do this after a round, you let them talk to you and you kind of go through what they feel and what they thought, and then I'll throw in my 2 cents of what I saw because they're the ones hitting the shot.
Now that you've come down here, are you only going to hit irons, and is this how you decompress?
He'll go through pretty much everything in his bag. Let's say a driver was the only club that he felt was bad. He'll hit a couple irons and then he'll go right to driver. But most of the time he'll kind of do a full through the bag session. And he's not one to sit out here for an hour after a rain. He won't be here till dark.
Yeah, it's just trying to get ingrained in a couple of feels that I felt on the golf course, because it's hard to change stuff on the golf course. It's easier to change it out here because you can't miss a shot out here.
Well, thank you for giving us some of your time. We don't want to keep you, but appreciate it and play well tomorrow.
Sure, thank you.
Thanks, Troy, with Jason Kokrak. Let's take a look here, Bubba, at Matt Jones. What on earth is going on here?
I don't know.
I've never done that. I can tell you that.
Really?
Yes. I want to, though.
Is this live? Yeah.
Yes, Matt. Yes, it's live.
Are there electrodes involved?
I hope so. We get shocked.
This is for what? This is for technique, or is this working on an injury? What is this?
Yeah, what? Does anybody know what it is?
That's me.
Is this a joke?
I'm not sure that he knows what it is.
Next. Is it April Fool's already? What is this?
Are you still on?
Yeah, we're still on, Matt. Still on. You guys.
I can't believe this. People are going to make so much fun of me now.
No, not you. No, nobody will make fun of you.
What, Australians making fun of each other? Surely
so does
not.
anybody know what that was?
No, I have absolutely no idea. You know, it looked like he was measuring some sort of biomechanics or something like that.
Yeah, we're going to have to find out over the next
That was a big word for you.
That was a big word, wasn't it? A compound word. Yeah. Hey,
speaking of biomechanics, I want to talk about your knee injury, because this is only your third tournament since knee surgery.
Yeah.
Your last competition last year was the PGA.
Yep.
You joined us on the broadcast team, which we thoroughly enjoyed. I think you enjoyed it too.
Yeah,
gave us some great insights. How is it? How is it feeling? Because clearly it's not affecting you too much out on the golf course.
No, it's really good. The thing that I miss the most is just it's hitting the shots, right? It's getting the body in the right position. The leg is 100%. The knee is 100%. Now it's just, 6-7 months off of hitting a golf ball. Now it's almost like I got to train myself again to get in those positions, kind of like Kokrak was saying, get in those positions to hit the shots under pressure. And the more reps I get, the better chance I have to make birdies and to do it under pressure. And that's where I'm building. I can feel it, but I'm just not quite there yet.
What do you feel when you look up at the scoreboard and you see Munoz at 8 under after 11?
I didn't even look up.
You didn't notice?
I was so nervous out there, I didn't even look up. Every shot, with the wind coming across, I never saw a leaderboard. I didn't look. I was trying to hang on for dear life.
Yeah.
Well, you tend to stick to what you know in golf, but also in terms of cuisine, as you were telling us, Bubba, last year. Remember this. Sorry, I fell asleep before I could post this last night. That's your typical road meal, isn't it? That's your go-to.
I've had it this week too.
Have you?
Yes.
Have you? Yes. Spaghetti bolognese, even on US turf.
Well, we've been having. I put penne pasta on it here at the clubhouse, so that's what I've been eating every day at the clubhouse.
You mix it up with a bit of penne instead of the spaghetti.
Really like fancy.
Yeah.
It's two of my favorite things, right there. Spaghetti and French fries. How can you go wrong? Are we carb loading or what?
Exactly. Trying to bulk up.
Yeah.
Well, two of your highlights, if not the highlights of your long and illustrious career, obviously 2 Masters victories. We are a matter of days out from the 2023 version. We have 6 winners here. There you are with the green jacket. We have 18 of our guys competing at Augusta. Has it been the talk of the squad so far? Was there any chatter about it out on the course today?
No, there really wasn't talk about it. There was a couple times we mentioned about going, about the new par 3. We're just excited to get there. Any chance you get to play Augusta, you're just over the moon, right? We're very honored and blessed to be able to play there. The membership, the committee's there, let us play. Can't wait to get there. I need to do some work here first, but I've already started thinking about some things that I need to tweak when I get to Augusta. I actually want to add a wrap of tape under my grips just so it's easier to cut the ball. There's a couple things that I was already thinking about today that I need to do for Augusta to get ready for it. The green speeds were up, so these greens were fast. So that's what we're going to have next week. So we're getting a taste a little bit this week.
Let's get, thank you, Bubba, by the way, and all the best for the rest of the weekend. We're going to get an explanation for quite what Matt Jones was up to.
Really?
Troy.
Yeah, Arlo, I don't know what he did to have this punishment, so we're going to find out. Talk to me about what you have going on and what happened.
No, this is not punishment at all. This is bad management and organisation from my trainer. setting it up at the wrong spot in the wrong time. But I'm just doing a 3D swing capture to check it's pretty much the sequence of my golf swing. I haven't done it for probably 10 years. I normally do it at TPI in San Diego with the guys from Titleist, but Rob here, he's from Australia and he lives here in Orlando, and it just worked out that we could do it today. I'd normally do it Monday or Tuesday, but we'll get the data and I won't look at the data. It'll go to Rob and it'll go to my coach, so I'm not getting messed up.
Well, let's talk about it. You have sensors on all parts of you, right? And he also uses an electrode pen, is that right?
It's just to build a model of where they are on my body, so then we can, when we capture the swing, we can see the sequence they're working in.
Okay, so how do you feel that your game was today, and do you want to know these things
I'm not
for
going to
tomorrow?
No, I won't find anything out today. This is for data and information for after this week, so I can go back to working on stuff to improve Adelaide.
Well, what are you working on in your game in general right now? I see you've got your wedge.
Yes. No, I'm just going to be capturing some swings, probably about 10 to 15 shots with a sand iron, a 6-iron, and a driver.
Okay, we want to see you hit a few.
Okay, perfect.
So don't listen when he tells us what's going on here. So what do we have so far?
So what you've got here is, I've got the data coming in here. So this is the avatar that's played in real time. And then I'll capture that swing, and then I'll get the launch monitor data, so how fast the club was moving and where the ball went and that sort of stuff.
But this is pretty in-depth. You get his spine tilt, pelvis tilt,
Yep,
wrist
all of
flex.
those things.
Don't worry about
Yep.
this.
and then I can play the avatar too.
Is this something that an average golfer can go and get done?
Mm-hmm.
That was probably
is,
like an
yes.
8.5 out of 10.
Well, thank you guys so much. Yeah, do another one.
Oh, it's fascinating stuff.
Isn't it? They do that in motion capture, in 3D images and making movies and that sort of thing. But I've never seen it applied in a golf scenario.
My question for him would be, if it's too tight, does that change your swing? So then you're not really getting your true golf swing.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
What does it
3D
look like
capture.
tonight, just in the closing stages here before we wrap things up for the night? What do the range goats do tonight, Bubba?
Yeah.
We'll get a few bites to eat and get some laughs about my score, and then we'll get after it tomorrow, and hopefully I'll be up there with them tomorrow.
Great stuff. Hope you're wearing that necklace at this time tomorrow, and certainly this time on Sunday. Bubba Watson, thank you very much for joining us once again. Just terrific talking to you once again, having been part of our broadcast team last year. Of course, captain, CEO, COO of the Range Goats GC, the pink and black. He's a range goat till he dies, you know. David Fairty, the lead cheerleader. The range goats are 12 under par, I should say, in third place at the moment. We've got a big weekend ahead. Join us at 1 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow, wherever you are around the world. Thank you for joining us here from Orlando and the LIV Golf team. Goodbye for now.